Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Diginanigans. Oh, what are we even doing here? It's like I've forgotten how to stream. It's been a bit. Sorry I missed some of my weekend streams. My partner got sick. I spent the weekend taking care of them. But here we are, Tuesday. Back again. What were we doing? I don't remember. We'll figure it out. It's probably teaching the autotiler about the corners, but I'm sure that led to some kind of distraction. Feeling that you let yourself not go to the gym for like a week or something, and now your body hurts, and you're like, but do I really want to go to the gym now? I'm feeling that right now for just streaming and work. I'm like, oh man, I took a break. Now I don't feel like doing the thing. Oh yeah, we were messing around with our block tools, and something was broken. And I said I was gonna fix it next time. And this is next time. So I guess I need to do that. I think I kind of remember what we want to do, but let's just take a look and see. I've got coffee, at least there's that one consolation in all of this. We were doing something about walls, right? We wanted to force... I kind of remember. So we wanted to, like... There's this awkward state where if you're too wide, you can't make a room. So it, like, doesn't try. What I think we were going to do is we were going to have it just draw out the single wall. And that involves, like, figuring out well, it's really just figuring out the line, which should just run from the from the anchor coordinate along the major axis. That should not be that hard. Then we can get back to work on the autotiler. We're getting very close to needing a like legitimate block validator system kind of thing. A block auditor. Because we're going to start having these... We're going to have this situation of like single blocks stacked against each other like this. This is placeable, and it needs to be acknowledged as illegal. And I don't know what we want to do. We could either physically prevent the thing from placing it, or we could just mark it as like illegitimate. I'm tempted to say mark it as illegitimate, because otherwise you could be doing some kind of like copy paste function and like a bunch of stuff gets deleted because it's illegal. I don't really want that. But yeah, it's a busy week. Ludum Dare is upcoming this weekend. I wish I was doing it, but I'm also glad to be going to this nearby music festival. Nearby in that I can walk to it. It's in a big park. It's really good. It's gonna be a really nice weekend. But I'm seriously, I am jonesing for that Ludum Dare. But we're not gonna do it, I don't think. Thought for a second the weather was gonna change and it would make more sense to do that instead, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know why I want to jam so bad. I still got stuff to do with bare necessities to fix. I still got a post-jam version I'm working on. Very lazily and very slowly, but I am working on it. Just to address some usability issues and hopefully get some audio in there eventually. We'll see. I know if I did another jam now, that would never get done. Which would be okay. It would be okay. But I enjoyed that jam so much. It's one of those things where it's like... It's one of those things where it's like, I do want to jam again, but I'm trying to think of like the Mr. Rogers advice of like where you hit like... Where when you listen to like a nice piece of music, it's like a good piece of music. The nice thing to do is to just sit in silence for a minute and reflect on what you heard. I'm trying to do that. It was such a nice jam. I want to just, you know, reflect on it and not dive into a new one too soon. I'm working on it at the same pace Bernard picks up food. Yeah. Yeah. We're also not changing Bernard's speed. Probably. Maybe I'll give him like a 10% speed up if I can make it look okay, but I think a lot of the issue with that game really is in the UI. Like the lack of feedback you get for clicks. Alright, so what we need to do... So bound, if all is greater than 1, else if bound is any is greater than 1. So this is what we need to fix here. This is what we need to do. I can't shrink, but I could... Oh, excuse me. I could make a new bounds. So we could say... Let's call this like wall bounds. I don't know. It'll be a new AABB. It's going to be from anchor chords. Anchor chords are guaranteed to be low, aren't they? No, they're not. Anchor chords are just the chords where we started, so I have to do this. Well, I have to do this min and max at least. Except what I want to do... So I want to say... Let's just say variable min chords equals this. So we'll define some kind of minimum point. And then what we're going to do is we'll extend that. Oops. Say vector 3i max chords. So what we're going to do is we're going to say min chords. Well, what we'll do is actually we're going to say bounds.size.x greater than bounds.size.y. So if it is greater, it can be min chords plus bounds dot size dot x minus 1. I think I'm minus 1. It'll be with min chords with x equals bounds.size.x minus 1. I don't love this, but it might work. So let's see if it works. Oh, I was like, what is this weird music we're listening to? It's the like cinematic intro music that I never turned off. What is going on? No One's Hero. This is a good track. I feel like this will work. Question mark? Then what we could do is we could say new AABB min chords, max chords. Maybe this will work. The goal is to just get it to... I'm not sure about this vector3i.min anchor chords to chords thing. But maybe this will work. I actually don't think this is going to work in every case. But I kind of just don't want to do this. Yeah. That very much did not accomplish what I wanted. Man. It's going from... Why is it going from 0 up to where the cursor is? Weird. Max chords with x equals... Oh, it needs to be min chords dot x plus... Maybe that'll do it. I don't know. Okay, it does nothing. Seems to do nothing. You know, honestly, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna let it draw the 2x2 wall. And then we're gonna just deal with it after the fact. All greater than 1. I feel like I'm gonna eventually want to be able to just shrink one side. Right now, our bounds thing can only shrink from both sides in. I think I'll eventually want to be able to shrink from just one side, and that could actually fix some of this. Weird that this doesn't work, though. I don't think I actually need this. Is there a way to fix this? Oh. I didn't actually get to test this. I was using the wrong tool. Oopsies. All right, let's test it with the right tool. Okay, no, it still doesn't work. I think the easy thing to do here is to say all greater than 2, do this. Otherwise, just do this. Just forget about this. The tool system desperately needs a rework. This will just work because then it will just we just transition. And like that's good enough. It's less weird too visually if you let it happen this way. Gotta figure something about the cutaway. Cutaway makes that awkward. Yeah, let's just do that. Simple solutions. Simple solutions are the best solutions here. Hey, Matthew Sparks, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Let's go back to what we were actually trying to work on today, which is all the insane effort that's going to go into evaluating the corner cases. This is like one edge. These are like all the conditions that go into clearing one edge outline. I need to start doing these for the corners. I kind of need... to do the edges after the corners. Let's start with the top, I guess. Hey, Nix. How's it going? How are you doing? Thank you for the hydrate. I guess I'll drink some water. It's not coffee, but it's all right. You need my advice on something? I don't believe you, but I will do what I can. You're in Manhattan working remotely for work. Your flight back is tonight. Should you extend it a day and just try to do everything remote tomorrow? Or be responsible and go back tonight? Oh, I don't know. Is there stuff you want to do in Manhattan? That sounds kind of cool. Will work pay for it either way? Or do you just happen to be out of town? Appreciate everyone hanging out here. I don't really feel like streaming today, but we're doing it anyway. We're being strong. What happened to my nice little... Oh, I guess I just gotta add the comments. You're doing fine? That's good, Nix. Nice. Nice, Nix. Matthew, yeah, you're visiting your girlfriend's family. They're Indian. They're cooking incredible food. Their place you're staying in is outrageously nice. Work doesn't even know you're not in town. They think you're just working from home. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would stick around for that. That sounds good. As long as you don't get gouged too hard on like the flight rebooking. That sounds really nice. Yeah, just set up your VPN, make it just look like you're back home. I don't travel and work very much, which like there's almost nothing preventing me from doing so. I wish I did it more. All right, let's look at setting up so corner cases. So we're trying to teach the autotiler about the corner cases. So we're going to say evaluate. What are we even calling these corners? Because we've got the negative x and the positive x and the negative y and the positive y for the edges. Are the corners just pairs of those? They probably are. There's just always a lingering chance they could need you to come in very suddenly. You're just betting against that happening every day that you're here. Ah, I see, I see. That could be awkward. That could be awkward. So, I guess the only question is, do you feel lucky, punk? So, I guess there are corners on every side. So we're getting rid of these rivets by like teaching it about corners. That's what we're doing. You take advantage of being able to work while traveling on more than you should and more than your employer would probably ever approve of. Nice. Yeah, I don't get called. I got to go in. I got to go into our office like once every week or two. Really just to check the mail. It's like there's not what I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you do, but for what I do, there's like nothing that one would need to be in a physical location for. So we'll say negative x, negative y. So we'll evaluate the four corners after we evaluate the four edges. All right, so when we evaluate the four corners, what we care about, so first we need to check to see we need to make sure that the x coordinate is greater than 1. Well, hold on. It needs to be 1 or 3. So it would be like if coords.x is equal to 1 or coords.x is equal to 3. Actually, we could just say is coords.x divided by 2 Or, I don't know. We could say the remainder. See. Modulo 2 is not equal to 0. Is that like stupid? But I think that would be fine. Because it's basically, is the value 1 or 3? That should be the same as this check. Probably easier to just do a straight comparison without the division, but I also like being able to evaluate it just with one conditional here. And then this one is like, well, it's, we gotta ask that about X, and I guess we also need to ask it about Y. Words.1. Is it stupid that I want to do it this way instead of just writing it like this? We need additional parentheses here. The heck is merge into a pattern? Cores.x is 1 or 3. Oh, I love this. Why doesn't anyone tell me about this? Why doesn't anyone tell me about these new language features? That's slick. That's some like GDScript stuff. Diginanigans, your office is pretty good with that. They have a work from wherever it makes sense policy. Yeah, that's like my office is similar. There was once in a blue moon that there's something you need to be at the office for, but it's slim. Other than that, they don't really care where we work, with the caveat that they don't want employees working from other employees' houses. Shenanigans. You also need to make sure you're available during regular office hours. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Okay, well, that's cool. I didn't realize I could do this. Is this or that? I can't do this, though. Okay, so if the corner is 1 or 3, or if the X is 1 or 3 and Y is 1 or 3, then we know. All right. Teaching autotilers about corners. So this would be is 2 or 3. Chords.y is 1 or 3. I will tell you, I've been getting into Foundation. Not the show, but the game. It was on sale recently. I do want to give the show another chance. But I've been playing this. I went hard on this game this weekend. It is so good. It's this little organic, like, medieval city builder. This is kind of a weird trailer. But it's so cool. It's no grid. It's all very modular and organic. Like, it's really cool. It's also very cozy. Like, it's very slow. You can play it pretty hardcore, but, like, it's also really nice to just play at a slow pace. Really nice. Wow, I'm looking at all this advanced tech stuff that these guys have that I don't. It's so good. The little characters are hilarious. I would like a little more variety maybe in, like, the character models, but they've got different outfits for each job, so I get it. But yeah, this game, I have been going crazy on this game. I played this game like a lot this weekend. You know, I'm hooked on a builder game like this when I'll spend like a session just like picking a starting map or something like that. This game is so good. Highly recommend. It's still on sale. It just came out in 1.0, I think, this year. But it's so good. So neat to have this modular, organic city builder stuff. Super cool. Yeah, the maps are huge, too. This is really low quality footage. Yeah, it's really good. Really enjoying that. Why not RimWorld? This is very different than RimWorld. There's no direct control in this game. It's a lot more like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Dwarf Fortress. It's more like it's more like the Anno series. It's a lot like the Anno series, but more chill and less grid based. Not if you download mods. Diginanigans, you didn't really realize C# could do that either. You think you'll still settle for things like and or. Rain is too high. Yeah, I don't know. I like the plain English syntax stuff, but yeah, I have no idea when you're allowed to use it and when you're not allowed to use it. I do things like coords with and then specify the thing that you're changing. Like I do like all this stuff. It's neat. But yeah, I'm still learning about when one can apply it. Shenanigans Foundation was good. You haven't played it in a while. You sunk a good many hours into it. You've been hooked on Town to City this weekend? Ooh, Town to City. Town to City. Oh no, there's more of these. There's more of these cozy. Oh, this one, I could see why you like this. Look at those texels. Oh my god, the voxels. I feel like this visual style would alarm me after a while. Which is ironic, considering I'm a very low-res guy. There's just my eyes see this and it interprets it. Yeah, I don't like the harshness of like the grass being like whole voxels tall. I guess not all the grass is like that. Oh my god, this is so similar and yet so different. It's incredible that they aren't locking it to a grid though, like props. Although it doesn't look like the voxels are aligned. So it looks like you have voxels that are along different, aligned to different like basis vectors, which is cool. This is wild. Yeah, this looks very similar. It's more modern, I think. It said it was like 19th century or something like that. Neat. I'll check this out, probably. I don't know. For some reason, the visual style is upsetting me. Even though it's really, in essence, very similar. I don't know why this particular application of the voxel style is bothering me. I don't think it's the base vector thing either, or I don't think it's like the alignment. Although the alignment does bother me. But I acknowledge that there's literally no other way you could do this. If you wanted to do it this way. This is cool. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Oh, this just came out like 2 weeks ago. Oh, it's in early access. All right, well, we're gonna let them cook on this for a while, and then we'll check back. I've kind of stopped building city builders while they're in early access. But if I ever have a game in early access, please play it. Please don't wait for 1.0. Oh, my coffee is dying. My coffee is cooling down faster than I can drink it. No. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You know, I know I said I like didn't want to stream today. It's very true. So I appreciate you hanging out. Let me help. Oh, Nix. That's not water. It doesn't count. Or hydrate. Hydrate's not. I gotta drink my water, not my coffee. You're slowing me down. You're doing the opposite of help. Hey, Arneo, what's the rumpus? I don't know. What's the rumpus with you? How's it going? We had a busy, tiring weekend, and we don't want to be doing this, but we are. You can also drink the bean-flavored water, too. It hydrates. It might not. On balance, it's hard to say. It's a toss-up. We learned this last time. It might be slightly more hydrating than it is, you know, a diuretic or whatever, but... Yeah, town to city looks interesting. All right, so this should let us know whether, so these are the gates to whether we even consider the corners. Okay, and so now that we're considering the corners, there's more to it than just that. We have to actually check our diagonally lower block here. And how are we going to do that? Okay. Let's look at this a little bit. I think the corner cases are actually going to be a lot more straightforward than the edge cases. Oh, I don't need to do that anymore. I would like to make it so I don't need to draw this roof either when I do this box drawer thing. I would like to also draw the roof. I need to teach it that. It's just a little weird to set that up. But anyway, we're trying to fix all these corners. What's a little tricky is we actually need it to abandon... It's tricky. It's tricky. So I can imagine a world where, like, we're not drawing the corners. But if I like if I attach a block to the side of the wall here, we should start to draw the corners again for some of these pieces. So what we could do, I guess... Yeah, we want to check its opposing corner, but the problem is we can't always do that. So, like, if you look at this, you'll see little dotted lines in here, these little black dots. These are corners that aren't getting wiped away, so it's like... we need to use some of the similar logic as the edges. I guess the best thing to do would be to overcorrect first. And, like, just kind of go ham and just wipe it out in almost every case. Except in a few cases. It's really going to be hard to tell whether we're doing this correctly or not until we're actually until we actually have textures like corner textures, because that's really where it's going to matter, is when you've got a corner texture, like a texture that acknowledges that there is a corner. But until we have that, you really can't tell the difference a lot of the time. Just vibing with this Harris Heller. I'm tempted to just say, if we're getting rid of both of the edges, just get rid of the corner for now. And then we can reevaluate that when we actually have something to show. Or if we start to notice discrepancies. I feel like that's the easiest thing to do. We're just going to say coords. How do we do this? We say coords.z. What's the mapping again? Why don't I remember this stuff? All right, Z map. Okay, 1 is the upper right. Or is that upper right? That's negative y, positive y. Or negative x, positive x. Oh boy. Negative x, positive x. Okay, so it's the negative x corner. Negative x, negative y is 1. All right, negative x, negative y is z plus 1. So we're going to say coords equals coords with z equals coords dot z plus 1. Terios does. Hey, what's up? Hey, do you know GDScript 2? Yes, we do use GDScript in this program. We have some GDScript. We use it mostly for an input handler and stuff. We use it for our UI and for our rendering stuff. We're making kind of a somewhat involved isometric FTL-like game. And there's a lot of simulation elements of that, so we've kind of paired off and are writing our gameplay. The simulation is basically written in C# in like a separate little domain, but everything gets back to the engine. Anything that goes back to the engine for the UI or for the rendering does eventually end up getting back into GDScript. We use some GDScript. I use GDScript a lot more in like game jams. There isn't really a lot here. This is probably one of the bigger ones. I don't totally understand the highlighting that's happening here. Like, I haven't seen GDScript or the editor do this before, where it's highlighted a function. Kind of weird. It was just a warning. Yeah, I'd probably... No. Oh, maybe it is. How are you doing? What's the price when it's finished? Yeah, we'll see. It's a long way away. I wish there were courses for GDScript, but the videos for it's fine. Yeah, there's stuff. There's tutorials and stuff. It's definitely not like the most popular language. I mean, you could just write your stuff in C# if you want. But yeah, I like GDScript. I like it for really small games. I like it for game jams especially. All right, so I think here we say chords with z plus 2. And then for W, we're talking about negative x, positive y. Okay. I think we're going for like the simplest version of this to start. Why did I say X? Z equals chords.c. This feels like kind of a cop-out, but I also just don't really want to think about this until it matters. You'll consider it. No, I mean, it's one of those, it's like if you're comfortable, if you're like, for me, I spent like over a decade making little like hobby games and like Unity and stuff. So like, to me, C# is a lot more familiar to me than GDScript was. I like GDScript. I use it. But for a number of reasons, for this project, it makes sense to use C#. I wouldn't recommend using both in the same project, if I'm going to be honest. Arnia, you haven't bothered with anything but GDScript for your project. You're hoping some Python rubs off from it, since you've heard it's similar to it. I hear that it's superficially similar. I hear that under the hood, it's anything but yeah, I don't know. I'm so ingrained in like the JavaScript C# kind of world that that's kind of how I think, but I really wish I was like a real programmer. I really wish I knew like C++. All right, so this might work. Let's just try this. Let's extend this around here. Everyone's coords are being declared as vector4, right? Oh, you know what we're not doing? Oh, wait, no, maybe we are. Let's see if this works. It'd be crazy if that's all this takes. Think it might be pizza time? Oh, hell yes. Cowabunga. Shenanigans. GDScript is almost certainly easier if you're not a programmer, but C# a lot more familiar to most programmers and has more info out there. Yeah, Shenanigans. That sounds about right. But Terios, if you're working on anything, it'd be interesting. Be interested to hear about it. If you're new to Godot or game dev in general, welcome in. Shenanigans, ouch. Someone who considers themselves a real programmer of well over a decade but doesn't know C++. Oops. Yeah, not me. So are we doing anything? How's it going here? So here's the thing. It didn't do anything. Curious. So these outlines seem to still be here. It seems like there's something happening here, maybe, but that's probably not true. Nope. Okay, corners still here. Didn't change a damn
Maximum
thing. Warp. Maximum warp, no Jewel. How's it going? Happy Tuesday. So why? You know what? We're probably getting manipulated by this, by thinking that this worked here. Let me make sure that this actually is doing this in the order that we expect it to. Okay. So, you know, this pattern that we're using for the detection probably doesn't work. But maybe it does. Not Cypher. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for the follow. Do you think a CS degree is worth it? You're scared that software engineer jobs will be taken? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of opinions about that, especially nowadays. I mean, you know, you got to be scared when Jensen Huang says, like, don't study coding, programming anymore. I don't know. It depends. It depends on how you think of it. If you think of it in, like, the opportunity to learn and network, or the life experience of going to college, I mean, those are all good things. If you think of it in terms of the amount of debt that it might, you know, lead to, that's a different way of thinking about it, and that might be, like, not as good. Oh, well, here's a problem. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have one. I don't have a degree, so, but I also am not getting paid to do this, so. Oh my god, Cosmic Cat Dev, thank you for the follow. You just brought us to our follower goal of 500 followers. Thank you so much. Sorry I'm a little low energy today. Welcome in, lucky number 500. The door prize is nothing. Just my gratitude. We didn't set up a door prize. Actually, you know what? That's just what you wanted? Good. Thank you all so much. That's awesome. 500 followers. Hard to believe. We started streaming a year and a half ago or so. February of 2024. It's currently September of 2025, if barely. That's awesome. 500. The big 500. So why isn't this working? I mean, I understand this here. We're not actually doing the math here, which is concerning. Yeah, we aren't doing sufficient amount of math. We should be doing this whole thing. That might explain the problem. Might explain it. Yeah, we should be doing this whole thing here. We're not indexing further into the atlas. Excuse me. That could be the problem, sort of. Let's try it. Nix, you have a CS degree, and you have an IT job, albeit the two aren't connected. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Hey, smooth in a second. Welcome in. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Man, the big 500. I do have some stuff in mind that I want to add to the channel, some more like audio cues and things like that. There's some stuff I need to sign up for on the YouTube side to help grow the channel more too. Oh, hey. Look at that. They're gone. The little corner rivets. Did we do it? What about in here? Hey. So now we're eliminating corner pieces with like extreme prejudice, which is too much. We're going like a little too ham on it. What happens if I like throw a door in here? What happens if I start throwing doors around? I guess it's fine because the doors overwrite this stuff. Huh. You know, this is maybe okay for now. What if I start like placing things? I don't know. I actually don't know what would look weird. Okay, so here's one. So we're doing this. If I jam this up against the wall here, it looks a little weird, but it is technically correct. And that's because we are using the side there. might actually change the way, tempted to kind of change the way that we do outlines a little bit to avoid some of that stuff. Like the little orphans. I don't like the little orphan pixels. But it's maybe okay. It might just be bothering me because of all our flat texturing. I think once we have actual textures in place, it'll be less noticeable. You missed the rivets. That's funny, Nix. Don't quote me on that, Nix. Oh, hey, Amanda. How's it going? Ship it to Shenanigans? Yes, indeed. Well, that's great. I thought that was going to take like a whole day, if not a week. We're admittedly doing it very lazily. We're just saying if we've eliminated the 2 corresponding edges, get rid of the corner too. But if it was that simple, we wouldn't. If it was that simple, we wouldn't have even bothered to have the corners, right? Like if that was the only condition was, hey, get rid of the 2 edges. So that makes me think that there are situations where we're going to need the corners. Let's try to mess around for a minute since we're in ads anyway. Let's mess around for a minute and try to find... Let's try to find some places where we would notice missing corners. It's really hard to like set them up right now. Like what if I put a door here and then I put a couple walls here, but then I have like a wall up here. No, this is we aren't really going to be able to test this until we have like different materials that can coexist in a certain way. So yeah, actually, I guess we just future-proofed the system with the ability to set up corners, but I don't think we're going to be able to test this meaningfully right now. Oh, what's going on there? That's weird. Oh, is that the cutaway? That's just the cutaway. That's still weird, though. You can kind of see that there's an outline getting disappeared. It's along this top wall here when I cut away. Oh, okay. When I cut away like this, it sticks around. But when I cut away from below, it does not stick around. That's curious. I think I understand what's causing that. Let's go look into that. I think it's saying if there's a full bolt cutaway, keep the outline, but it's not making the same check for a full deck cutaway. Dang it, smooth into second. Why did you need to clip that? I said pixels. I said I don't like the little orphan pixels. I specified. All right. All right. So yeah, the thing to do would be to go to the bulk Z layer. Take a look at your positive Y and positive X edges. Yeah, so see, we say and not cutaways dot has cutaway dot extents dot full bulk. This needs to be or it needs to be has any And it needs to say this. Cutaway.extents.full deck. And we need to do that here as well. I have a feeling that's going to break some stuff. But let's see. It would be cool if I could do this differently here. All right, Cosmic Cat Dev, we got you your door prize. You got blasted. You got phaser blasted with the gift sub. As a thank you for being follower 500. Ship them while you got them. Yeah, let's see if that worked. All right, so theoretically, if I did that, we'll just make some walls here. It doesn't really matter where. Make some walls, go down to the next level, see what happens. All right, okay, we fixed that. The opposite can't really occur. We're starting to get to the point where I really need to fix really need to fix the camera rotation. Excuse me. I don't totally understand why I'm feeling so blah today in terms of energy level. I think it's a nice mix of things. My back hurts. That's probably the big one. All right, so we fixed that. Autotiler rule fixed there. All right, well, that's awkward. That was what I was planning on. More coffee certainly wouldn't hurt. That's true. That's true. Let me try to fix my posture a little bit. This is a good chair. But, you know, you still gotta sit in it well. It gives you enough slack to, you know, harm yourself. No one's gonna force me to sit upright. Okay, so what do we do now? That's awkward. That was way less effort. I mean, we're gonna have to come back and fix these. We're gonna need to add conditions where you don't get rid of the corner, where you keep the corner. Right now, the rule is unclear because we don't actually have any textures, so we can't actually tell where we would want to do that. So we're just gonna wait until we need to do that. Yeah, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Try doing the conversion the other way, where the byte array gets cast as a short span and then filled. Should I actually do this? I've had this to do on here for ages. I just kind of scrolled down and found something. Should I try to optimize the output pack tilemap data? Why isn't this a static function? Oh, maybe it won't be, depending on... So let's try to understand my statement here. So the reason we're doing this, not the reason we're doing this, but we're doing it... So output pack tilemap data is the thing that sends the tilemap data back over that the actual tilemap layer needs. And it's actually... They're actually usually packed in together, more than one tilemap at a time. You'll have a whole bunch of them packed in by layer. By layer and then by level. So you'll have some number of levels times some number of layers. And you're sending all that data over. And so the thing that we could do... Does this not fit on one line? It does. So what we're doing here is we declare a new short. It's a lot of allocation. We declare a new short. We start to pack the data in there. Oh, we declare a new array of short. We pack all that data in there, and then here what we do, game output.tiles.enqueue, a new tilemap data pack. We cast the pack data. We get the pack data as a span. We cast it, and then we submit it to an array. Why do we do it this way? Oh, we pack it, we put it into a new array. And so what's my idea? My to-do is try doing the conversion the other way, where the byte array gets cast as a short span and then filled. Oh, so I'm imagining that we have a byte array. We cast it as a short, fill it, and then pass it back in its original form. This to array part, I'd rather not have to do this part. I'd rather try to save as much memory here as possible. To be fair, the system hasn't flagged this as a major issue. Not services. Who does that? The DPA. Memory allocation. So there's no memory allocation issues that have been found. That's good. So I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, we kind of want to do this. We kind of want to allocate this as a buffer. I think we want to allocate it as a buffer, just in byte form. And then we want to grab that buffer. Get it as a short. For now, we could just have this be on the tile system, this buffer. But eventually this would need to belong to... This buffer would need to belong to the like the ship or whatever you want to call it. To the thing that has that data. So let's look at that. Let's look at that. We can call it like packed tile data or something like that for now. So we could say entity ID, we could say packed tile data. I don't know. Tile data buffer. Tile map buffer. I don't know. Let's just say tile map data. Or maybe packed tile map data. Packed tile map, whatever. This needs to be longer. So the ready function, you can say packed tile map data equals game.world.create entity. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Game.world.add buffer component. The to array part is the part that I don't totally understand here. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that. We do need to make a new buffer object though if we want to do this way. Well, hold on. This thing has like pack tile map data buffer. Problem with doing this as a Catherine the multitasker is coming in with the raid. Raid alert, everybody. Hide the code. How's it going, hey, Catherine? How was the stream? Wobble Dobsy. Who is Tobias? Hey, who is Tobias? Howdy, how's it going? How was the stream? What have you been working on? Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome to Digital Iliad. We're working on an FTL-like in Godot here. Making a little, oh, you're making icons. Cool. What are you working on in general? Oh, you had a mod election. Well, congratulations to the upstanding members of the community that were voted mods for the current term. Let me hit you with a follow. That shout out. All right, we are working on a tool set for building these 3D environments that are rendered in 2D. So we're building these kind of block spaces. So you can lay out like a deck, and you could add a room to it. This room is compartmentalized. There's like a cutaway system. It pays attention to all this stuff. So we can make a big set of rooms. This is eventually designed to be for like building spaceships. But right now we're kind of working on just the basics here. So if we've got a compartmentalization system, we've got a cutaway system that lets you visually navigate these areas. We can edit these blocks in 3D here. So right now it's not much more than like, you know, a big gray box editor tool, but we've got a lot of inner working systems here. We just made some big changes to our autotiler. Look at that, no corner pieces. No rivets left, we got them all. Thank you for the follow, Catherine. You're making a silly little whack-a-mole collectathon style game? Ooh, nice. You got a lot of art to do. That sounds fun. Yeah, I tried to make an idle game for a game jam a couple weeks ago. There was so much art involved. Never again. Gotta go back to just making like single screen score chasers. But yeah, the goal is to build out these fun little spaceships, have kind of like a little Star Trek style simulator thing. We're working on maybe some intermediate projects, like little side projects that can demonstrate the tech without being like a whole full-fledged game. We're thinking about doing some of that stuff. So that's cool. I'm gonna have to check check out your stream. See what kind of stuff you're working on. If you got a raid and run, no worries. We'll be working here for probably another hour. What am I doing? We were planning to spend all day on this one thing, and the one thing took an hour. So we're kind of working on something else. We're trying to come up with something else to do. I have this note on this to do, and I'm trying to see about implementing this thing, which has to do with sending data back to the Godot engine from our little simulation layer here. Such a mood. Yeah, we're very low res pixel art kind of deal. I've got an idea for a little idle game that I want to use, that I want to make using some of this tech. But yeah, we have a lot of art to make too. We've been kind of gray boxing everything. Yeah, thank you for coming in. We hit 500 followers today. Congrats again to Cosmicat Dev for being the 500th follower. Feels like a little milestone for us. Yeah, so the problem... So, hold on. Let's try to understand why I want to make this change. Dave, let's look back to Dave of 6 months ago. Or a year ago, probably. Is probably when I wrote this note. Try doing the conversion the other way, where the byte array gets cast as a short span and then filled. I think that's to avoid... Because I'm creating a short array. I'm casting this back. The part that hurts is this to array. What's this tilemap data pack object? Oh, this just holds the byte array. Cool. I don't think I can pass in a span. I wanted to pass in a span. If I could say as array, that would be great. Instead of to array, I could say like as array. Nope. I can just do to array. The thing is, I don't really want to copy this into a new... I don't really want to copy this into a new array. And then when we get over here, let's go to the thing that actually... So when we output tiles, so while output tiles count is greater than 0, tilemap data pack tiles equals output.tiles.deque, nodes, tiles.target node, call unpack tilemap data tiles.packed data. So this call function, oh, that doesn't help. I gotta go to the node. I think it just takes a packed byte array, and I think the only thing I can pass into a packed byte array is just a primitive byte array. So yeah, so I guess the gain we stand to make... Who does this part? Who handles this? Is it the hull levels? Yeah, unpack tilemap data, pack tilemap data, packed byte array. We make, like, all layers I.tilemap data equals pet. So we're slicing this up anyway into new arrays. Well, yeah, it returns the slice of the packed byte array from begin to end as a new packed byte array. So we're already taking this data and slicing it up into the different pieces. So it doesn't totally make sense to use a new array here. So let's try to not. Let's try... But the thing is, I want it to be what I call like a buffer, which is just a segment of memory that's associated with an entity. The thing about it, though, is that my packed byte array, or not my packed byte array, my component buffer thing, the buffer expects itself to be this like uniform data. And that's not what happens here. This data is not uniform. This data has like headers. There's like a header at the front. And I mean, arguably, we could store the headers separately. Let's go look at our definition for component buffer. I think we have a bit of a flaw with the way that we've structured this. The way we've structured the component buffer. Where is a component buffer? I just want to look at one. Add buffer component. That's not it. My buffer component. Here we go. So this is the interface that governs the component that stores the buffer. My buffer component T. Yeah, so size is length times unsafe.size of T. So it expects itself to be this uniform thing. That's not exactly how we've done this. So what's the best thing to do in that case? Is there an alternative? I mean, I guess the alternative right now is to just hold the array on the system, but that's not what I want to do. I want this array to be associated. Well, I guess I don't. Because the thing is, if it's a buffer and we associate it with the entity that like corresponds with the ship or something, not every ship is going to be rendered. But the memory is not going to be deallocated. I mean, I guess that's stable. So what happens if you take a buffer like this and size it down? All it does is it slices into the buffer. Can I just store the memory directly here? So we've got this buffer account. Can I just have this like arbitrary? Why is the buffer required to be homogeneous? I mean, it's good. It makes sense that we've done it that way up until now. Diginanigans, you're currently using the most destructive hack of a web page you've ever built. You migrated away from a PM SaaS tool a while ago. You're just fully shutting down your accounts right now, but apparently the vendor can't delete your data. And extremely tedious from your end. So you have duct taped, repurposed an internal dashboard that you'd built a few years ago. Sounds exciting. Was originally intended to load additional data about various items as they come into view on the screen. Your duct tape solution now is that as things scroll into view, they're deleted. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so yeah, our buffers just exist on this memory owner of bytes. Like, there's really nothing preventing us from like just storing arbitrary data on here. I mean, the thing that's limiting us from doing that is the fact that we specify a type of the data. I could specify the type of short. Oh, yeah. Let's just do that. I'll just specify the type the operational type of the data, which is the short. And then whenever we use it, we're just using that. And then at the end, we just cast it back to byte. That doesn't seem much better than this. The thing that's better than this is that we're not allocating... We're not going to be allocating this memory every frame. Shenanigans. The API is rate limited to 15 requests at once and 1,500 a minute. So instead of building the logic to handle that, this was easier. It just feels so dirty and evil. I mean, yeah. The fact that you're just trying to delete things means you're probably fine, but that's funny. So hold on. So 1,500 divided by 15, 100. Huh. Having the limit of 15 requests at once and 1,500 a minute is kind of funny. That means they consider at once, quote unquote, to be what, like a second, less than a second, but more than, you know, a small. It's a pretty big amount of time in the computer world, but that's funny. I have a lot of stuff that I do. It's like a lot of heavy computing stuff that I just tell the cloud to do for me, and I am so bad about it. I set up some pretty dirty stuff like you're describing too. Just because I'm like, this is happening on the cloud. If it doesn't work, you know, we can fix it. Like, you think it's literally simultaneous open requests? Okay. But yeah, there are also a lot of rate limiters with the cloud stuff that I do, and like sometimes I have to separate something out because the posted limit for like the Google AppScript cloud thing is like 6 minutes per function or something. That's the posted limit. Is no function can take more than like 6 minutes or whatever. The actual limit is 30 minutes. And I've had to divide my labor in some pretty weird ways and do some pretty heinous stuff to get around the 30-minute function limit. Wobble, 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 Dobsy. The cloud's not real. The cloud inefficiencies can't hurt you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I am so rude to my cloud resources. Because I don't treat them as real. They're not real to me. I think of a Richard Fabian joke or something where he's like, you know, some people need to be reminded that you don't need to spin up a server just to like add a couple numbers together. Shenanigans, you have over 70,000 records to delete, so you just scroll the mouse wheel every 30 seconds or so. That is so funny. And so as those things appear on the dashboard, they get deleted. That feels broken. But very funny. All right, so I think we can do this. So what we do here is we set this up. So right now, eventually this data is going to be, hack tilemap data buffer is going to be associated with each entity that needs one. But right now, we're in testing. This is kind of temporarily associated with like the construction entity, quote unquote, or like the tile system itself, because we don't ever need to render more than one. I don't know what you want to call them, but I could call them like block constructs. They're things made out of blocks. And right now we only have one set of block constructs at a time. So I'm just going to pack this into the tile system itself. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to say, well, we need to make a new kind of... Why do you have an error? I didn't do anything. Why are you upset with me? Wobble Dobsy, thank you for the follow. I don't know why the squiggly red line is here. Squiggly red line of death. What did I do? There aren't even any errors. Oh, one error in one file. Show me what you got. Show me the error. It won't do it. I don't know what I did. There's an error in here somewhere. Come on, writer. Help me out. Concerning. Oh, well, whatever. Let's just carry on and pretend that it's not a problem. All right, so we're going to make a new buffer. We're going to call it...
Your logic was impeccable, Captain.
We're going to call it packed tile map data. You know, we could just call it tile map data. Tile map data buffer. So this is a public... I always have to look this up every time. I never remember this. Public read-only record struct. All it needs to do is define a length. And it needs to buy an iBuffer component of short. Public read-only record struct. Tile map data buffer. Integer length. iBuffer component. Short. Implement the missing members. Component.flags flag. Do I hard code these now? I do. I need to make a flag is what I need to do. Tile set atlas. So this we can put this one first, and we can call this tile map data buffer. Is that it? Is that all I need at the moment to make this work? Oh, do I need to also specify... I'm really bad at setting up my components here. I need a component type. We'll say public, static, read-only component, tile map data buffer, new flags dot tile map data buffer 6 tile map data buffer. Public static read only component 8, 9. I really need to like alphabetically sort these. I mean, actually, I probably don't want to alphabetically sort these because then I have to renumber them every time, but someday I'm going to care about the organization of my component types, but it is not this day. All right, great. So we can just have a buffer of shorts, and that is fine, and that allows us to store the header along with the actual tile map data, and nobody will care. Everything should be fine. There's still an error in here, way down here. Okay, it's showing me the error now. For each tile in tile.values. Type T key is defined in an assembly that is not referenced. What? When did this become a problem? That seems like an error. Like, not a my fault kind of error. That seems weird. Work time. Thanks for the stream. No worries. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck with work. Thanks for hanging out, everyone, today. I feel better. I really didn't want to stream today. But we've been great. We haven't really been blocked by anything. This is a little concerning. Tiles, tile, dictionary, vector 4i, tile, tiles. Is there a reason I passed the dictionary in? Oh, because it's got different... I don't know. I don't actually see a reason to do that. But why does this all of a sudden not work? Add reference to system.private.corelib. Yeah, sure. Oh god, now everything is broken. Okay, let's not do that. Let's undo the add reference. Oh, I think there's something just kind of broken with everything. Adding that reference broke literally everything. That was not good. Let's just close the solution. Pretend that didn't happen. Now we're fine. I always think of that, oh, nope, we're not fine. What happened? Let's look at the Git. As far as I can tell, we really didn't do anything. Yeah. Oh, nope, everything's fine. Yeah, I think of the Paul Rudd computer gif, the computer resetting, where it's like everything's fine, and then it's like, oh fuck, and then it's like hangs, and then it's like, I'm okay. But yeah, everything seems to be fine now. Nix. You just came back and now everything's fine? Coincidence? You think not? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it knew you were coming back. All right, so now what we're essentially doing, instead of casting this pack data here, what we're going to do is up here, instead of declaring the pack data, what we're going to do is we're going to say... We're going to double check to make sure that we remember set buffer component, how set buffer component works. So set buffer component is neat. If it asks for, if we set it with a higher length than it had before, does it need to be written like this? Can it just be oops. Can it just be T1? Where T1 is an unmanaged buffer component. And then we can just say... Hold on, does this work? Oh no, I guess we need to put in T... Shouldn't it be like this? Yeah, whatever. Let's not worry about it. I don't like having to write down all the types, but I don't care enough. Like, it'd be nice to be able to just infer the type from the buffer component. But I'm not actually passing in a value where I could do that easily. You're actually going to go now? You got stuff to do? You're learning how to play guitar at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. No worries. Take care. Don't injure yourself. Your neighbors love you. Well, good luck. That's cool. Learning the guitar is cool. I gotta learn a cover of Bare Necessities so I can record that for the game. For the Bare Necessities game. Probably instrumental. Alright, so yeah, so if the length is the same, whatever. If the length is greater, we'll allocate a new memory. If the length is less, we just take a slice. Or hold on. Yeah, I'm reading that backwards. So that should be more stable for our memory management. So it's set buffer component. Pass in the ID. So here we're gonna say, here we're gonna say, so we'll say packed data. It's not a new short. It's gonna be tile map. Well, hold on. We should change the size first. We should say pack tile map data. Or we're going to say game.world.set buffer component packed. What do I call it? Tile map data buffer short. And we pass in the tile map data buffer. What do we call who owns this thing? This is packed tile map data. I see. Packed tile map data. We need to pass in a new length. The new length is 1 plus levels times layers. Is that right? Oh, no, it's count. Pack data, new short, count. Count as index. Yeah, okay, we can just pass in the count. Okay, so that will resize the buffer for us. Arneo, careful with them Disney songs. They might come for you for those. Yeah. You got to be a little careful. I believe I can do one that is sufficiently different that they won't care for a freely available jam game. But yeah, it's always be afraid of Disney. They make Nintendo look, friendly in terms of litigiousness. Litigity. They're practically getting liturgical on people, Disney. All right, so now instead of creating this new pack data every time, what we can do is we can say new tile map data buffer. No, we say new read-only buffer read-only of short. I don't remember how any of my code works. I always have to go look at an example. Game.world.add buffer component. Oh yeah, we got to do that. And what happens when we actually want to get the buffer? New buffer read only or read write, and then we just pass in the component. Right. Okay. So here we just say new buffer. We say, does this return a component? No, it doesn't. I kind of wish it did. But I understand why it doesn't. Set component doesn't return a component either. Okay, so we got to set the buffer component, then we got to get it. So we can say Game.world.get. We need to say get component. Tile map data buffer. Packed tile map data. That's it. That's all we need to get this, right? Get this buffer. Hey, Rain and Journey. How's it going? It's going okay. We had a bit of a break. You know, we haven't really streamed since Thursday. My partner got sick over the weekend, and I haven't really felt like working, so we've just kind of been chilling. But they're better now. I'm back at work. I'm feeling that whole, like, you try to get yourself to go to the gym after not doing it for a week, and you really don't want to, but you do it anyway. That's how I'm feeling right now. But it's good. We had a good stream. We got raided. We got a bunch of wonderful raiders came in and hung out with us. We got raided by Catherine the Multitasker. Very exciting. We hit our 500 followers on Twitch. Thanks again, Cosmic Cat Dev. You know exactly how I feel. Yeah, you don't want to go to the gym either. Sorry, 1 second. I should race next to 750 followers versus RimWorld mods. That doesn't seem like much of a race. I feel like Nyx could get to that many RimWorld mods easily if they wanted to. All right, so now we make this new pack data. Make it a read-only buffer. Oh, we get it as a short. That's exactly what we want. And then, so what do we do? Hold on. So we get this buffer read-only, buffer length span equals get read-only buffer T. I buffer component T. So that will only get it for us in that shape. What I want is I want to get the buffer directly in its byte form. Is there a way to do that? I mean, I could just use the memory marshal directly, but I'd be curious if we have a function for this. I have a get read only buffer T. Cast from byte to T. I could have like a get. I could have like a get read only buffer raw or get byte buffer that doesn't do the cast. That could be cool. This is public. Who actually uses this? Right now, just the buffers use this. I feel like, yeah, we should have a function that's like, what if we had like a public read-only span? Well, for one thing, does read-only span... I guess it doesn't need to be read-only span. Does span... I need to look at the docs. So if I get a span, can I just get it as an array? I don't want to copy it is the thing. So I get the buffer memory map. What can I do from the memory? To the docs. To the doc mobile. Memory. C#. There's 2 array, which I don't want. Span. So if I have the span, can I get... I don't... This 2 array thing is what's killing me. You know, honestly, the unfortunate thing is there might not be a better way to do this that I know of. Maybe there's an extension. To immutable array? I just want an array, man. This is unfortunate. I gotta get it back as like a raw array because of the Godot needs here. So if we were looking at like a C sharp, somewhere there's a C sharp here. Is it under scripting? Probably scripting, C sharp. Godot API for C sharp. API differences. What is this zoomed to? Oh yeah, that was zoomed like crazy. It's not that bad because if it's just a pinned array of a primitive type, it's not like we have to copy it again when we pass it back to Godot from C sharp, but still. I guess we could at least save on the allocation of the packed data array each frame. Packed array in C sharp. So Godot packed arrays are implemented as an array of a specific type, allowing it to be more tightly packed as each element has the size of the specific type, not variant. In C sharp, packed arrays are replaced by system.array. So yeah, packed byte array is just a simple system.array. So I want to be able to get this from a span. That's what I want. Or from a memory. Either from a memory T or a span T. Memory T. Have a way to do this.
You suffer from claustrophobia. That horrible growing panic when you're in an elevator or a crowded subway.
Yeah, this is a heap allocation, which isn't great, but...
And in a moment I'll give you an amazingly quick solution which will fit you.
I kind of want to pin this. Oh, Bart Lane, thank you for the subscription. Subscribing at tier 1 for 17 months. Thank you very much. I don't think getting a handle is going to help us here.
Slowly and deeply through your nose. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth after.
So there's an implicit, there's an operator conversion, excuse me, from an array to a memory. Is there an explicit conversion back? Because that would be awesome. That would be great for us. Thank you. Thank you, Bart Lane. Look at that founder badge. Oh, it takes an array segment. I didn't really want an array segment. What is an array segment? I just wanted an array. Doesn't seem like this is going to happen in the memory itself. I mean, I guess it makes sense that the span can't be made into an array because the span is a ref struct. I feel like the memory should have the ability to do this, though. Maybe there's the memory owner thing I can... Maybe there's a trick with memory owner that I can do. Where is memory owner? Also, this is such an old version of .NET, is it? Oh, it's just 9. I think we're on 10 right now. All right. Memory owner, C#. That's who's doing all this stuff, right? Memory owner T. Memory owner T is what we're using. Let's see if memory owner T has an ability to do this. Or if maybe memory owner T at least can give us a vision into its own. So I don't want to allocate. There's a dangerous get array. Ooh. This is maybe what we want. This method is meant to be used when working with APIs that only accept an array as input and should be used with caution. In particular, the returned array is rented from an array pool, and it is the responsibility of the caller to ensure that it's not used after the current memory owner T instance is disposed. Doing so is considered undefined behavior, as the same array might be in use within another memory owner instance. Huh. Well, it says returns array segment T. I don't think that's the same thing as just array T. Or T array, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see if that's true. That doesn't seem to be true. But maybe array segment delimits a section of a one-dimensional array. Okay, let's look at array segment T then. Show me what you got. Gets the original array containing the range of elements that the array segment delimits. That seems dangerous. I mean, this is a way to get the array without... This is a way to get it without a copy. Which is possible. Possibly what we want. All right, who has a reference to their memory? Who knows? Is it just the buffer memory map that has that? So we've got the memory owner of T. We're trying to really hack our way around this. I'm a little concerned about doing it this way, but I would like to not just be allocating this memory all the time. I think I'm going to have a hard time observing the limitation. So we've got our memory owner. Got our memory. Memory cannot get... So we can go to array, copies the contents from the memory into a new array. I don't want to do that. kind of want to try this other thing, and if it causes a problem, we'll live with that. I wish there was a... I wonder if T-array has a... array. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Just seeing if we've got some conversion methods or something that I'm not aware of. So I don't want to copy. We want like an as array kind of thing or something like that. What does this cast do? Oh, this looks gross. I do not want to do that. All right, so I think we can do this. We essentially would need to get the array segment, and then we would need to get the array. An array segment is a wrapper around an array that delimits a range of elements in that array. That's the thing I'm concerned about, is the interaction here. So this dangerous get array, an array segment instance wrapping the underlying T array in use. I'm concerned about the underlying T array in use. I'm concerned it's bigger than the array we actually need. And I'm concerned that will continue to be the case. So I don't think there's a way around this, unfortunately. Unless we're just reallocating this all the time. Because we're trying to avoid a lot of allocations by... We don't reallocate because the buffer gets sized down. So the thing is, if I get an array... If I get the underlying array from the memory owner and we've reduced the size of it for this purpose in this moment, that underlying array will be bigger than what we're expecting. So I think the short and long answer is both I can't and shouldn't do it that way. So that's unfortunate. Why did I think I could do this a different way? I mean, we can at least avoid like half of the allocations we're making, which I guess is something. So we can say variable pack data is new, buffer read only. Oh, it can't be buffer read only. It needs to be buffer read write. Use object initializer. Oh no, F that. All right, so we're gonna get that buffer span. We'll write all to it, and then here what we're gonna do is we're gonna say memory marshal cast short to byte pack data. We don't need to say as span because it is already a span. Cannot resolve buffer. Oh, I would need to say pack data dot span. The unfortunate thing is we do have to cast this to an array. We arguably don't need to do the cast. We could just get the byte array directly. But I think this cast is very cheap compared to the, you know, allocating the whole array. Okay. This isn't exactly what I wanted to do. So what's the alternative? The alternative would be to... Well, no, because then we'd just be reallocating this array all the time. Yeah, I don't see a better way to do this. I'm going to get rid of this to-do. I don't see a way around that. And I'm honestly just hoping that this works. I'm not convinced that it will. Well, for one thing, it won't work because we didn't initialize it. So we should probably start with that. Packed tile map data equals game.world.create entity. Game.world. Do I need to... So add buffer component. So what if we have a set command and we haven't already called an add? No, we would need to have gotten the component. What if I try to... What if I don't really specify a size? I think I'm just going to specify an arbitrary size to start. I don't think it really matters. So a nice arbitrary size, I think, is 1 plus levels times layers. Well, hold on. It's 1 plus levels times layers. Yeah, I guess that's fine. That's fine number to start. It'll need to be reallocated anyway the first time. I don't think I can allocate it with 0 though. It'd be kind of cool if I could, but I don't think I can. This length. You don't have a length? Pack tile map data. Oh, you're just an entity ID. Oh, we would need to get game.world.add buffer component, cutaway blocks, new cutaway buffer 3D. Cutaway buffer 3D is the component. Oh, I would need to say new tile map data buffer. And you actually don't want your ID, you just need a length. So we can just say, let's just say 1. Let's just say 1. Who cares? don't think it matters. Curious to see if this works. Imagine it'll crash immediately. Oh yeah. What do we got going on here? Something big and bad. Godot, lots of Godot bugs here. No, this looks like it's maybe from the C# side. Unsupported tile map data format, sure. Sure. All right, so it's unclear to me where the problem is coming from. So we're just gonna figure it out. So initialization, are we fairly confident that this is right? Pack tile map data. Create the entity, set up the initial buffer component. Get a pack tile map data and a new tile map data buffer. So I think we get that just fine. The thing is, we're probably using it badly down here. So the game.world.set. So first thing we do is we set the buffer component. We give it a new length, which is count. So we set the buffer size. We get this buffer back here. You have an indexer, right? Index setter. Yeah, that's what we're using. The index setter is fine. Oh. Oh no, that's just for the constructor. Get read write buffer T. Buffer component dot buffer ID. And what we do here is we make a new tile map data pack. Memory marshal dot cast short to byte pack data dot span. So here's our span. Oh, pack data dot span. To array. Let's just put a breakpoint here. What do we got? Pack data. Length 132. Span. System.span int16 132. We've got all our values. This all looks good. And then what's the problem? So let's go here and let's look at where we pass this over. So before we call this, let's put a breakpoint there. All right, let's figure this out. Tiles, tile map, data pack. pack data system.byte array. Pack data byte 264. Well, we're looking good in terms of all this data here. Looking correct. Okay. As far as I can tell, it's looking good coming out of the C#. I didn't change any of the Godot stuff. So many errors. Unsupported tile map data format 10. That's usually just shorthand for you put the data in the wrong order. You dummy. So how did I do that? Because I haven't actually changed any of the data assignment stuff. What's this convert.2 and 16? Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Convert.2 and 16 levels times layers. The set buffer component pack tile map data.count. The count is right. So if I just went back to like variable pack data equals new short count, we're not going to have any problems. And here it just says as span. All right, sanity check time. Well, that worked just fine. Annoyingly. All right, so for some reason, our pack data, new buffer read write short, game.world.get component, tile map data buffer. For some reason, he really doesn't like us. All right, give me pack data. Length 114, span short, system.span in 16, 114. Great. Tiles count 0 is a little weird. Why are the tiles 0? Oh, well, this data is 0, so that's fine. Let's go through. Let's tell it to continue. Resume. Tile 0, resume. Tile 0. Tile 0. Oh, did I restart it? Dang it. Oh, tiles 3. Okay. 43, 30, 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't understand how I did that. Oh, those are just tiles, right? That's per layer. And then so here we have packed data, length 132, span 14, 14, 14, 43, 30, 0, 0. I'm not totally sure what the difference is between our buffer
She's got a lot of talent there.
I thought you'd think so. I was a model back in Texas.
So for some reason, the data seems to be getting packed incorrectly,
But after this, there'll be no
but only when we're using the buffer version of it. To do understand why the buffer span is not packed correctly. I don't know. I don't currently understand why the buffer span is not being packed correctly. But it's definitely happening. Whereas it's totally fine when we just start with an array. So that's annoying a little bit. All right, well, that's weird. I'll keep looking into that. It would be nice to not have to allocate a new array every single time. That will start to add up. I mean, well, we're already allocating an array. It would be nice not to have to allocate 2 arrays every single time. It'd be nice to cut down on it by like 50%. Hey, Autogon. But we achieved our goal for the stream early on, after just an hour, so this has all been just bonus, I guess. But I'll keep looking into that. I don't understand what the behavior could be different. Oh, you see fish. That's why Bernard popped in. That's so funny. You were ready. Bernard was ready for that fish. I hope it's still there when you finally get to it. Super weird why the data isn't mapped correctly. Packed tile map data, packed byte array. Code U16. It's not spinning in one spot, so it's not going anywhere. It's lumber in time. That's so funny. So funny. All right, well, that's a mystery for another day. See if there's anyone we can raid into here. Probably go hang out with Otter. All right, we're going to set up a raid. We're going to get ready to get this show on the road here. All right, I'm getting back. We're getting back in the saddle. This was a good stream. We were weirdly productive for the first half of the stream. Mainly because we avoided all the hard work involved in what we were trying to do. But I stand by that decision. And then, of course, when we tried to do something easy, it was incredibly hard. Because that's how it is. So yeah, I gotta get to a meeting. It's in about 10 minutes. We're gonna go hang out with Otter Makes Games. They do some really good stuff. They're doing a dog-centric kind of game, which is great. I love the animation. Otter's a really great artist. It's really nice to see the kind of stuff that they're working on. But yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks again for the raid, Catherine. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for the 500th follow, Cosmicat Dev. Thanks for everyone else who followed today as too. Not Cypher, Wobble Dobsy, Catherine, and the aforementioned Cosmicat Dev. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time, which will hopefully tomorrow. Bye. Raid them if, ship it if you got it. That's our raid message.